Hello and welcome to another AIC video. As you can tell, I've been a pretty busy boy working on my wife's Blazer. So I've been wanting to do a radio upgrade for my wife. Her last vehicle had Apple CarPlay, something she appreciated. And so we decided to go ahead and install a radio capable of that in her Blazer. The other reason for doing that is the factory radio that was in it. This one right here, half the buttons don't work. It's really just old, beat up, and barely usable. CD player doesn't work. There's no, aux or other input. And we can only pick up one radio station on it. It just isn't a very functional radio for her. So I picked up this guy here. The brand name is Atoto, I don't know, something like that. And what this is it's a wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto capable device. It's also super thin. So obviously there's no CD player, but honestly, I can't even remember the last time I bought a CD, much less use a CD. It has a ton of inputs and outputs on it, so it can support, subwoofers and different video displays, things like that. So it also can do a backup camera. Now for the Blazer, you can't just install this. You have to modify the dash bezel, the bezel a little bit. So I picked up this. It's a Metra. I'm gonna go ahead and put a link to all of these in the video description, to the radio, to the wire harness I bought, to the kit I bought. That way, if you want to replicate it at all, you're welcome to do so. Also, one thing I highly recommend as an upgrade is getting these adapters. So what happens is you put it on the one end and you crimp it, and once you have both ends on, then you hit it with a heat gun. You do not use a a lighter. You don't use flame on these. They will catch on fire. Ask me how I knew. But you hit it with a heat gun, and there's a glue. You can kind of see it there that squished out a little bit. There's a glue in here that actually holds it on really nice and tight. So I checked connectivity, or what's the word? I made sure that everything was wired up good with my multimeter. That's why it's out here, over here. Made sure everything was wired up good. Had good signal through it, and then I sealed them up good. And these will stay together for forever. I used to do the whole twist and tape method, but in the past I have had that come apart, especially like when I'm off-roading, things like that. So this is my new method, and it is very functional. Oh, I melted these stickers a little bit here. And I like these a lot, and they're pretty simple. And that's the other thing, they're really quick to do. They're actually less work than the twist and tape method by quite a bit. So I highly recommend this. Again, link in the description for these guys. So anyways, I went ahead and I plugged it in and tested it, and I was getting audio. Now, one thing I noticed with this head unit is I was only getting audio out of the speakers that are up here on the dashboard. And so I was thinking if I plug this in, it would work, because maybe this was burned out. Well, it didn't change the fact that I was only getting audio out of the speakers on the dash. And I can't imagine why that might be. These speakers are hella dead. These are so gone toast. And so I have some new speakers coming. That's why that's off. I just wanted to verify the speaker size and just, take a look and see what was going on with these guys. But yeah, speakers are super dead. I have 4 coming in, one for each door. So that'll go on tomorrow. Unfortunately, taking the stash off, I'm in Arizona, and so this plastic gets so brittle. And I didn't even put any pressure on here. I was just feeling along this edge to kind of pull it away. I done all the screws. I was just feeling along this edge, and I think it might have already had a small crack, and it just shattered. So I actually have a new one of these coming, but that's a good thing, because what I'm going to do is fit that new radio bezel. Stay. So, because what you have to do is actually cut this bar out here. And so I'm going to test fit and see how much I have to cut, and try a couple different cutting methods to see how to cut this as cleanly as possible. Probably just a I was going to do a rotary tool, a Dremel, but I might just do like a handsaw and just real gentle cut through that so it comes out looking real nice. So, and then another thing I'm going to do is install a backup camera. Just because we live really close to school. I have my own kids, but like just the other day, trying to back out of my driveway, I didn't almost hit a kid, but I had a kid kind of run out behind me. So fortunately in my truck, I do have a backup camera and I was able to see and stop, but I was back up super slow, and I appreciate having the camera. I always thought it was kind of silly until I lived in a neighborhood with so many kids. Now with the radio, it came with its own little bezel. It came with screen protector, so I'm going to have to clean my nasty fingerprints off the screen and put it on a screen protector. A couple different kinds of frosted film and a HD film. I don't know what the difference is. I mean, the one is obviously frosted. I'm guessing this is the wireless antenna for the CarPlay stuff. Came with the microphone I'm going to have to run, and then these mounting plates. So I don't know if I'll use these metal ones or use the plastic ones that came in this kit. These ones are supposed to be vehicle specific, so we'll see how they fit. Anyways, I'm also going to replace some of these switches on here just because the lights and stuff in them are burnt out. Since I'm doing this, those are very inexpensive to get. They're like less than $20 each. So anyways, I'm only halfway through the process, just kind of getting my feet wet on it. One thing I had a question on was there's this main wire which has all the wiring for like your speakers and stuff. I'm guessing this is something the previous owner did, tapped into it for something, maybe a subwoofer. But then there's this wire in here, and what this actually is for a cassette player. Some of them were fitted with a cassette player down here, so that's what that is for. So anyways, if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, anything specific you'd like to see with this install, let me know. But yeah, that's what I'm working on my wife's car. It'll be a few days just because I gotta wait for parts to show up now. Order the speakers. Those should be here tomorrow. I'll replace all the speakers. Then I'll run the wire for the backup camera, get that through, test the speakers out, all that jazz. My biggest thing right now is, even though I'm inside the garage, it is 109 today and 40% humidity. And I don't care where you are, that is not dry, and it is very hot, and it is very miserable. So I may be waking up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to come out and work for an hour or two before work, just so I'm not dying of heat stroke. And trying to do everything I touch, even in the garage, everything I touch on the car is scalding hot. So you know, just one of those things where you just kind of have to work around the weather. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.